welcome. And for people, I can see some new faces and some friends. So I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich, and I'm pretty much a doctor, a certified facilitator. I have a lot of hats. I'm also a mother, and it doesn't matter anymore. It's about who we are, who we be. And a little bit about my journey for people who don't know me. Um, a few years ago, I was so stressed practicing medicine. I ended up with open heart surgery. And that changed my life in the ways I cannot describe. It was a gift wrapped in a different package that people say, oh my God, this is horrible. But in reality, while I was going through that, that wasn't pleasant. But yet it changed my mind so much. Changed my mind, changed my body, changed everything. So let's talk a little bit about how did it change my life and the tools that literally can shift and change everything. I'm talking about access consciousness. And the first tool I'm going to talk about, for people who are not familiar, I hope you know the clearing statement because we'll be using it a lot during this class. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com website and kind of like find out more. But this is more about taking the vibrational frequency of a clearing statement, a short speak, just like a magic wand, and allowing any point of view, anything that is not working in your life, just delete, destroy, and uncreate it. And I'll be asking that. It's right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm not going to go into details because we have only an hour. And you can ask any questions you like. This is actually going to be a class, not a normal intro, because I felt as a gift, I would like to give a little bit more. And so that's why I'm going to explain the tools a little bit in the beginning and then just go into how can we use them. So the clearing statement is one, and you can just say pack and pad, which is point of creation, point of destruction, simply, and that works too. Or whatever Helen says, or whatever Dr. Dane says, or Gary Douglas, because Gary Douglas is founder and Dr. Dane here is co-founder of Access Consciousness, and that's where the tools are coming from. So that's one, and the other one is light and heavy. Whatever is true will make you feel light, expanded, and whatever is heavy is always a lie. Lie is always heavy and constricting. So let's play with that for a second. Take a look at any upset that you have with anybody right now, or anything in your life that's not working. Just see it in front of you. Is it light or heavy? I'm perceiving it as very heavy. So that's a lie, because any problems, any judgments are lies that's in our lives that creates the difficulties. So let's take that lie, and would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that right now? I'm kind of hearing yes in my head and some nods on the Zoom. So right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And once more, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate those problems? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. How do you feel right now? Is it a little bit lighter? It's a little lighter for me. Everywhere where you are not willing to destroy the lies, it's basically where you get stuck. That's where things are not moving, it's solid. So, what if we don't have to create things as a solidity? What if we can just be with that and melt it? Let's play with that. I know I'm jumping, I'm ADD, so I'm just allowing those energies to move. You don't have to understand. By the way, if you don't speak English or Spanish, um, it's just about energy. The energy will shift and change things. And you don't have to understand, even if you understand the language. Because a lot of times, what I found when things kind of solid and not moving, nothing can go through that doesn't match it. So no matter what I say, if it doesn't match that solidity, you might not hear it. You might not understand it. So that's just the nature of it's just physics or metaphysics or quantum mechanics. I have no idea where it fits. But if it doesn't fit into the frame of mind of the person, they cannot hear it or they cannot see it. One of the examples is given in What the Bleep Do We Know? There is a marvelous movie about quantum mechanics, and it's part documentary, part kind of a movie. And they have a moment describing when Columbus landed in America, the Native Americans did not see the ships because they never knew things like that existed. All they saw just the little waves that the ship created. Only when they were close, that's when they saw it. Same with us. If we don't know something, we cannot see it or we cannot hear it. And yet we can if we choose to, if we be the space with no point of view. The idea is to melt every point of view we have. It doesn't matter if you have points of view about COVID. The virus cannot touch you unless you have a point of view that you can catch it. Our point of view creates our reality. I'll say it again. Our point of view creates our reality. So every point of view we take, every thought, every feeling, and every emotion creates what's going on in our lives. And you say, okay, how do I create the problems? Fear. Not wanting to have that in our lives. Resisting to something. If we resist to something, it definitely shows up. And I know in my life, when I was looking for a partner, I was doing creative visualization at that time. And you write the list of the characters you would like to see in the person. And of course, there was one thing in particular that I did not want in my husband. It's drugs and alcohol. So guess what I got? An alcoholic and a drug addict. So that's, or if we're afraid of cancer, or if we don't want to live like that, if we don't want to see something, all of those things create something in our body that either killing our body or creates a blindness, creates deafness, creates some problem with eyesight or hearing. So are you willing to let go of all of that right now? Are you willing to let go of the resistance and reactions, your fears, your kind of like fear to get sick, fear to get problems, all of those, are you willing to let go right now and just be space? Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I have a question here. Why our fears come more rapidly than the things we are energetically pulling? Because fears have so much emotional attachment, so they are very solid. So, and that solidity actually pulls much more than the things we are energetically pulling, especially when we are energetically pulling something. How much do you actually believe you can get it? There is that duality of, yes, I would like to get that, but magic is impossible. No, I cannot be. I'm not that strong. All those things is opposite reaction to your pulling the energy. So that's why I'm kind of inviting you to be the space with no point of view. Because a lot of times when we're pulling energetically, we have a strong point of view of desire, I have to have it. And that's already a conclusion, especially when we desire to get it in a certain way. Universe is interesting in that way. Things show up never the way we think they will. Um, I love you also to tell us more if it's possible about it's the same thing. Relationship, money, health, everything is the same. You can use the same tools, pulling relationship into your life as much as pulling money, because it's a relationship with money. Um, and again, if you think of somebody that you're in a relationship with and you have judgment about them, guess what? They have to play out that judgment because they are energetic sponge as much as you are. And also, if you have negative judgments about them, they run away. Same with money. If you have some negative, there is no negative and positive, but I'm just using this reality definition of like negative thoughts. If you think money is dirty or your partner is an asshole or a bitch, guess what? They either have to play that role for you or they'll run away. And money will run away. What if you don't have any points of view? What if you actually delete all the points of view? How much your life would be different? So let's do a little expansion exercise and play with who can we be? Let's drop our barriers. Totally. All of them. Drop them, drop them. More. Drop, keep dropping, keep dropping, keep dropping, keep dropping the barriers. And pull the energy of the universe into your body through the crown, through your body, and let it go through your feet and connect to Mother Earth and pull energy of Earth through your feet, through your body, and out into the universe. And allow those energies to mix in your heart. Because your heart, actually, the one space where it's possible not to have judgments. All your judgments are coming from your head. And the heart is the space of that unconditional love, unconditional gratitude. So just allow those energies in your heart, and you can put your hands on your heart and just allow that to expand. make your heart, not so much physical heart, don't explode your heart, but your energetic heart expand. Maybe a mile or a kilometer if you're in Europe, Israel, because I can see a lot of different countries out here. Expand beyond the house that you're in, 10 miles, 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers, 100,000 kilometers or miles, and keep expanding. Make yourself bigger than the planet. And see that planet inside of you for a second. I know you're bigger than that, but for now, I just want you to see our beautiful planet and connect with that. Who can we be with this planet, with Earth, that giving us everything? The place to live, the place to have joy, to have our body. And let's thank it for now. Just say our thank you, Earth, for all the contribution you've been through all the lifetimes, not just this lifetime. And ask, what contribution can we be now? And from that space, expand even more. Expand into infinity. Make yourself bigger than this universe, multiverse, and beyond. And without contracting, just bring your attention into your heart, into that space, into your body. See if there is anything that requires your attention, requires that energy, and just allow it to clear. Pull the energy through your head and expand through that. Let that energy cleanse your body and melt everything that is not ease or joy in your body. Keep pulling the energy through your head and through your feet and keep melting everything that in your body that is not a contribution to you now. And while you're doing that and being that, look at your life, at your relationships, at your money, and melt any solidity, any points of view you have that creating those money problems, that creating the relationship issues. And look if it's actually not yours. How much of those problems that you think is yours, you picked up from other people? Are you willing to let go and return it back? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What if nothing is your problem? Would you let go of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Also in that expansion, look at your family. What can you contribute to them? What can they contribute to you? Look at your relationships. What can you contribute there? What can you melt? That's not creating the relationship that you desire. What if by creating that space of infinite possibilities, you can invite something different, something that actually works for you instead of just maybe mediocre or maybe problems? And how much have you decided you're a problem solver? So you create problems just to solve them. And how many problems have you picked up from other people? And just allow that to melt as well. What if you can be just space? Who can you be without your problems? Who can you be with abundance of everything, with total ease? What if you invite abundance right now? Abundance of money, abundance of joy, abundance of love, gratitude. And what if you ask for something? What would you like to ask now? If you could have anything and everything. I guess we're doing SOP taster. I didn't realize that. We slowly moved into that. So what would you ask right now? And you can open your eyes. What would you like to see in your life? The year is almost over. The 2020 is over in about what? 3 days? What do you desire for 2021? And at least for me, I would like to get rid of that social isolation, the COVID. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's frack. If you're not familiar with fracking, it's basically the technique where you take energy, just like in oil business, they, with a sound wave or explosive, they explode the topsoil so they can get to oil. Our fracking is taking the energy of any problems we have, anything that is not working, maybe pain in the body, maybe discomfort in the body, and using emotional, physical, doesn't matter, and use that energy to explode all of that. So let's frag the insanity of COVID right now. On 1, 2, frack, 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 and everything that we all created in any lifetime that allows COVID to exist, let's destroy and uncreate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere where we are not allowing ourselves to be the magic that melts COVID, melts the insanity in the world. Let's destroy and uncreate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And let's do 5, 9, 11, which is pretty much destroying take reality with any viruses that creating that. It might be COVID, it might be COVID-19, COVID-30, whatever it is. Let's do 5, 9, 11, 5911, 5911, 5911, 5911, 5911, 5911, 5911. And let's look at everything in the world right now. Ooh, interesting. How many of you contracted as soon as I started talking about COVID? Drop your barriers. What if you didn't have to have barriers, even to COVID, even to illnesses, and even to stupid people? What if you didn't have to have barriers to anything? Let's drop the barriers and expand again. Yes, sir. Yeah. When people like, I see, I just even sneezed. Yeah, it's true. So let's expand again. And because it's much easier to melt from the space than from a little tiny contracted us. Let's be that 800-pound gorilla that can destroy the limitations instead of being tiny mouse that's running away from the cat, instead of expanding. Remember that, what story was that fairy tale? Jack and the Beanstalk, I think, where he climbs up and there is a giant. But he makes that giant to turn into a little mouse where he can squish it. So how many of you, the giants, are turning into little ants or little mouse, hiding instead of expanding and being the giants we are? How much more can we create on this planet if we be the giant, the magical creatures that can change that space? And let's melt this. Let's be the magical space. And what if every day you would ask, what space can I occupy so I can melt everything that is not is joy and glory? And what if you just say, yeah, get in the boots is another one. Thanks. And what if we change things just by being who we are? Close your eyes for a second and be that space of infinity. And from that space, look at that upset that we started with in the beginning. Is it even relevant to you now? No. Look at the problems in your life. Are they relevant now? Or are they much easier to solve or ignore? What if they can be solved themselves? Love that. Just allow yourself to be that space. More. And yeah, lies that we bought as true and unchangeable. Now it all seems irrelevant. Yeah, because lies are not real. The difference between what's true, if you expand what's true, it gets bigger. The lie, if you start expanding it, it disappears. So take any upset in your life, any problems that, not people, people are real. So if you think of a person as a problem, usually it's not. It's usually our point of view that's a problem. So look at that point of view and expand it. And how many people in your life you think as problems? That's actually interesting. I like that. But look at that. Is it actually the people are the problems, or your judgment of the people is the problem? Or is that their judgment of you are the problems? Or are the judgments that you have of them having judgments of you are the problems? Did I confuse you enough? Good. So everything that is, we just try and unclear that. Right and wrong, good and bad, back and part, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I love the tool of access. Interesting point of view. Because that's when you can look at the judgment and say, interesting point of view. So let's look at any judgment you have right now, or any person that you think is a problem. Look at them and let's do it together. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Now look at their judgment of you. Interesting point of view. They have this point of view. Interesting point of view. They have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. They have this interesting point of view. And now look at your judgment of them having a judgment of you. So interesting point of view. I have interest that they have this interesting point of view, that I have this interesting point of view. Jimmy, you have, is confusion about people a judgment? Jimmy, would you like to say a little bit more about, I'm not getting the question yet. You can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi,
So
Jimmy.
even before you started talking about the people who are a problem, or your judgment of the people being a problem, I think my biggest problem with my most problem person is confusion. Like, I don't understand them. You know what?
Cool. I love that. So
like, and I haven't been I can't let it go for almost 2 years now.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the value for you to understand them?
I have I guess, belief that it would give me a peace of mind.
Cute. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Wrong, good and bad, back and part, all nine short bosoms. Is that actually true?
Okay. Not entirely. No, it's a little heavy.
Yeah. So
it's a little heavy.
And so what is that you're confused about?
Behavior. Like, why has behavior changed?
So whenever You say why. When you're trying to understand, you basically go in a loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is no way out.
Yeah.
It's about literally, and part of it is also,
It is a loop.
it is
An
a loop.
interesting point of view hasn't helped so much.
Yeah. So what if you actually look at that and gave up the idea of understanding people? What if it's
Yeah.
just a choice? What if they choose to be that or do
Yeah.
that? What if there is no reason and justification? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Because people are stupid. And by stupid, I mean they are unaware.
Yeah.
And when they are unaware, they do stupid things.
Yes.
And that's just it. There is no understanding of that.
Except what you just said.
It's just simply stupidity.
Yeah.
And we do stupid things in our lives. I've done a lot of
Yeah.
stupid things in my life. Was there a reason behind it? No. I might have thought there was a reason, but
Yeah.
that was just a justification. It was not.
Right.
There is no reason. It's just a choice.
Yeah.
Conscious, unconscious, or anti-conscious doesn't matter. For us or against us, it's still a choice. Choice made out of fear, choice made out of love, choice made out of who knows
Oh,
what.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. What stupidity are you using to create stupidity you're choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys, men. Don't run that for 30 days at least. It will not change your life. Or will it?
What stupidity.
What stupidity are you using to create the stupidity you're choosing? And everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because that's all lies. So thank you. That was a wonderful question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So let's talk a little bit more when we try to understand people. Because a lot of times when we try to understand, we're also going into mimicking them. In order to understand somebody, you have to walk in their shoes, right? That's an expression. You have to become like them. It doesn't matter if you are trying to be like them, trying to understand how wonderful they are, how they created so much money, how they created those wonderful relationships, or if they're doing stupid things, like creating cancer or having no money, creating the problem after problem after problem, and you can see the way out, but they choose to go through the other door. I love the joke about two women who like one likes the problem and the other one doesn't have any point of view. So they end up in the same house and there is two doors. One door, you just go out, no problems, and you live your life. The other door, there is a man with a baseball bat. And if you go out, he'll hit you over the head. So the first woman goes through the door and there is a man. He hits her over the head. She thinks. She walks through the other door. Lives happily ever after. The other woman goes through the door, gets hit over the head, comes back and thinks, there might be treasure out there. Otherwise, why is the man guarding it? So she walks again through the same door. He hits her over the head. She comes back. No, it's probably there is something there. I have to check it out. So she goes through the door again. gets hit over the head again. And she keeps repeating it, the same cycle, over and over again. And he keeps beating her over the head, beating her over the chest. And finally, the man gets tired. He needs a break. So he goes away. So she goes out the door and the man is not there. And she's like, oh my God, what just happened? What does she do? She goes out and starts looking for that man. How many of you been living your life like that? I know I've done that. Now I at least choose to not look for the man with the baseball bat. So everything that just was brought up or let down or whatever it was, are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, cool. Sarah Maria, do you want to ask it or are they here on Zoom? We have a question from the Spanish Zoom because we have a translation going on as well.
We have the person on the Spanish chat and she wanted to ask, how do we come out of that loop? Because she continues to ask why people do that. Why are they doing that? So that's her question. How do we come out of that?
Well, number one is a choice. And ask her what's the value for her.
I'm waiting for the answer.
Uh-huh. Oh, she's chatting?
Yeah. ¿Puedes ponerlo en el chat o quieres que te quite el silencio del micrófono?
So basically, a lot of times it's entrainment. I'll try to get into her head a little bit.
Dice que no, she says that she does not see the value of doing that behavior.
Right. So basically, it's entrainment. It's almost like a program that we have to understand. A lot of times it goes either in childhood. Parents would ask, why did you do that? And the child kind of like repeats the cycle. And sometimes it might be even previous lifetime. And a lot of times it's just a choice, stopping ourselves. In the moment when we keep asking that why, we just, oh, interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Just what we were talking about. Because why is another judgment? Trying to find that judgment of justification or reason. Because reason and justification, nothing more than judgments. And why people act that way? It's pretty much the stupidity or choice. And we have no idea what's right or wrong for them. Because a lot of times we can see that, oh my God, if they didn't do that, they would not have done this, they would not get that result. But what if getting that result is actually what changes their life? What if that might be the last drop that makes them choose consciousness or die? Allowing people to choose based on their choice instead of trying to make them see the light, a lot of times allows them to create more in their life. Because when we try to understand, a lot of times the understanding comes with, I want to change them. I want to make them better. Ain't going to work. And the idea is the more we have that point of view, the more they will resist and react. Because there is only two ways in this reality for people to behave. They either resist and react to something that you judge them as, or they'll align and agree with that. If you don't have a point of view, or you be the interesting point of view without point of view, which is total allowance, you allow them to choose what works for them. Because I know with my daughter, a lot of times it was pretty much resistance and reaction, or alignment and agreement. And when was resistance and reaction, I would push even more. With access tools, having the interesting point of view, puck and padding my points of view, or if they were not mine, letting them go and sending back to whoever gave it to me, shifted so much that it allowed her to choose for her instead of against her and against me. So everything that's coming up right now, and everything that not allowing you to be the interesting point of view, will you destroy and uncreate that? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And by the way, I'm having a couple of classes coming up if you're interested, because right now with COVID, it's a blessing in disguise, because I can do online classes around the world. So I am doing foundation in the beginning of January. I think it's 8 through 11. And I'm doing intensity of being on 23rd of January, which is part of Being You Adventures, one day. And that will be kind of like, who can we be without our points of view? How much can we shift and change? And that's going to be, I don't remember the exact time, but you can look on website and on the Facebook, it is an event. Intensity of Being will be translated into Spanish. And if there are a few people that require translation in other languages, we can arrange that. So if we'll need Hebrew, if we'll need Russian, anything will be available. Just give us like at least a couple of weeks to arrange that. And also Body Class, but Body Class cannot be online. And hopefully I'll come to Israel in May, and in England in April, and Taiwan in May, and other countries hopefully soon. What else is possible? What else can we create together? And frack the insanity with COVID and 5/9/11, and keep doing that and keep clearing. Gary asked us to clear whatever we created in any lifetimes that allows COVID to exist. So let's keep doing it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because we are giants. We are magical. We can change the world if we choose to. Each one of us being the giant we are, the magical giants. The 5/9/11, it's in foundation. It's pretty much energy bolt. 5 is breaking down the algorithm. 9 is a killing energy, and 11 is breaking down take reality. So when we do 5/9/11, we break down everything that take reality created, basically what we are seeing now with COVID, with vaccines, with government isolation. So it's just pretty much taking the energy in your hands and doing 5/9/11, 5/9/11, 5/9/11 until it feels light. And it can be on anything, even your mind going crazy. You can do 5/9/11 because you're picking up other people's shit. So thank you so much. And we're very grateful for everyone that participated today, for everybody that watched us on Facebook Live. on Spanish Zoom, and it will be up on Facebook as well as